Hey people, welcome back to the Becoming series, exploring the deep truths and the principles that will enable you become everything you're created to be. I'm trying to get my lighting set up. 1 second. Boom! There we go. So how you doing? Okay, so today, quickly, I want to talk to you about depreciation. So what is depreciation? It's not a term that you'd normally associate with a topic called becoming. But look at it this way. What happens when you have a car, nice car, and you stop driving it for a while, right? You just leave it parked somewhere in the garage or somewhere outside your house, and you just leave it there. What happens after a month or two, or 3 months, or 4 months, or 6 months? You get to notice that something starts to happen to the car, right? The tires start to go down, it starts becoming rusty, um, and then it doesn't look so good. Even if you bought it brand new, it starts to accumulate dust and all of that. It doesn't look as good as it did when you bought it or when you were regularly washing it or waxing it. What has happened is that it has started to depreciate, right? And that's really the concept that I want us to understand. Depreciation occurs when an asset, normally an asset is something that you buy, right? That either through its use or through its sale, puts money in your pocket. An asset is something that you can use to generate value, right? So when you buy an asset, but you don't use it, or you misuse it, or you mismanage it, it starts to depreciate in value. In other words, the value, you know, starts to go down, which is really what happens to us as human beings. All human beings are full of assets, right? And I said that assets relates to value. Now, what happens when you mismanage your life? When you don't do the things you're supposed to do, when you have a gift but you keep it buried, or you don't use it, what happens? The same thing that happens to a car. It starts to depreciate. For instance, you discover that for any of you who like to sing, if you haven't sung in a while, right? Maybe the last time you sang was like maybe 6 months ago, and then you just all of a sudden one day, 6 months later, wanted to start singing. You notice that the quality and the texture of your voice wouldn't be, as much on point as it was when you were singing regularly. In other words, your voice has started to depreciate, right? And it will take some time of regular practice and all of that to get it back in shape. That's really what happens. So what I'm saying, in effect, is that when you, when you have an asset that is valuable, which every human being does, but you don't use it, it starts to depreciate, right? Um, One of my mentors said, "Whatever you don't manage, you lose. Whatever you don't manage, you lose." And that's basically the same thing that happens when you don't manage an asset properly. It starts to go down in value, such that it's no longer as valuable as it was. So whatever it is you're called to do, whatever it is that you're supposed to become, you need to ensure that you're regularly doing it for it to not depreciate, but appreciate. The opposite happens when you use an asset regularly, right? In this case, your asset or your gifting, it starts to appreciate, it starts to become better, such that when you serve it, the more you serve it, the higher the quality, people appreciate it more. If you're a singer or an actor or a dancer or whatever it is, the more you do the things that you're supposed to be doing to hone your craft, the better you get at it and the more people you attract, right? So avoid depreciation and embrace appreciation through the process of perfecting your gift, of committing yourself to honing it to a state of excellence, and and watch your life explode. See ya.